What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today it's time to look at everything out on the market and see what's going on and hunt for some opportunities to pick up some short-term swing trades and just get a general idea of where we are and where we're going in the short term. But before I begin, please understand this is not financial advice. All right, this is purely entertainment purposes only. And if you spend any money based on something I said in this video, you will end up as a homeless bum living in the alley eating out of a garbage can. All right, how about that, YouTube? So leave my video alone. All right, we're going to start out with Bitcoin. So here we are on the Bitcoin one-day chart. Also, shout out to everybody in the private group.
Yay!
You all know who you are. We do a lot of swing trading in the private group, and I stay on the market all day, every day, and into the night, kind of leading the way, just giving my interpretation of which direction the market is going and teaching basics on swing trading and how to read the charts. I'll have a link in the description if you want to look at what we do. We got some heavy hitters in the group. We got some people that are, you know, in the range of a few tens of thousands of dollars to the hundreds of thousands and even in the seven figures that are making great money in the private group. And before you join, you need to send me an email and ask first, because I don't want people who can't afford to do this to be in the private group, only serious investors. So starting out with Bitcoin, I didn't think we were going to push up to this 110 mark. We had Dr. Pump and Dump talking about Bitcoin pushing up to 115. It doesn't look like that's going to happen now. But it did eclipse 110. We went up to this 111,770. And we had this big dip here. And when you see the stochastic go all the way down to the 20 line, it didn't go into oversold, but at the bottom, we checked in on the 50 EMA line. So since this point here in April, we have been on an uptrend, upward trending trading channel. So what you do, you look for these channel swings. Here's what I mean. When you go back here in this area, and you connect the dots, you notice that all of the action is staying within a channel that is generally going downhill. Okay, so that is a downward trending trading channel. And then once you break this trend, in other words, right at this point, right here, let's put a little circle here, when price goes up above that upper limit, that's when you have a swing channel change. So now we're in this upward trending trading channel. And when you connect the dots up at the top, you can kind of see, it's hard to tell what the bottom is going to be. So we'll just have to connect these two bottoms here, and that establishes the channel. We're flying well above the 200 EMA, and we are staying above this 50 EMA. Now, whenever the 50 is above the 200, that's confirmation that you're in an upward trend. Now, if you look at the previous time, the 50 was still above the 200 because this is a bull market. Even when we went through the entire length of this downward trending trading channel, the 50 never crossed over the 200. It touched it right here, glanced off of it, and went right back up. And so now we're at the top of the stochastic right here. It's looking kind of bullish, but then you notice there's a red candle there. So whenever you see the stochastic pointing straight up, but you got a red candle, that's telling you that it's probably going to flip this unless big buys come in and it continues further upward to the top of that trading channel. But there's a chance right now we might go back down to the bottom of this trading channel. It might touch down on the 50 EMA and then continue up. Now, usually when you get like a confirmed downward channel, it goes on for like 3 to 4 weeks. And I thought this was going to be the pivot point here where we get a full month of June on a downward trending trading channel. It's going to come at some point because you're not going to just trend up from this point all the way to the bull market peak. There's going to be a swing channel change, and it's going to take everybody by surprise, and then everybody's going to get all sad, okay, and upset, but it's going to happen. I know everybody just wants the market to go straight up from here all the way through the bull market peak, and that ain't the way that it goes. So what do we expect? We're probably going to get a rollover with a slight correction, or if it's not that, if we break this bottom blue line right here, okay, if we go below that line, that could mean that we get a swing channel pivot. And that means that price will do something like this, and then we'll bounce around for a while, kind of going in the other direction where you'll see it do something like this. And that could happen just for a short period of time. I mean, we're already halfway through June, just about. It's the 11th today. I don't think that if we switch direction on this channel that it's going to last very long, maybe to the end of June or early July, and then it'll probably flip up and go the other direction. So that's what Bitcoin looks like on the 1-day chart. But now look at this. Watch this. Flip to the 1 week, and what do you see here? This is interesting. Pay close attention to this. So on the last update, I said, hey, we got a definite crossover here where the fast line crossed over the slow line, right? But now notice how the blue line, which is the fast line, it's curling up. So it looks like we're going to pop up again and get a double hump where we stay in this overbought zone. Sometimes you can be up here and it just hangs around for a while, and instead of rolling over and going down, it comes back up again and we get a few humps. Or we could fall out of this and finally have a stochastic return down to the oversold zone before we come up. We might not go all the way down to oversold again until the end of the bull market peak, okay? And even after that, it might not go down because there's talk that the bull market peak will not be the beginning of a total 4.5-year cycle down, a bear market. They're saying that 6 months later we might peak again, we might go into a super cycle. But we'll talk more about that on another video. So right now, this is really tricky, and you just got to be careful because we had that definite bearish crossover, and now here comes the blue line. It's wanting to curl up and cross back over that slow line. So downstairs on the MACD, we see the same thing where we had a bullish crossover and now the blue line's curling over, and we did have a light green candle. Look at that one, sandwiched right between the solid greens, okay? So that was indicative that we would go back down and cross over the zero line. This is the zero line. But now we got a green bar on the histogram, which says, no, we got bullish momentum going. So right now, I'm going to say we're 50-50, where we could come out of this with a slight correction, or we could continue to pull up higher for some more bullish action. And this is the hardest place right here if you're wanting to do quick swing trades. And the market makers, they know what they're doing. They're staying a step ahead of you. They know that if everybody is expecting a correction, which everyone was talking about, hey, we can flip the market, get everyone excited, move it up again, and then dump the market. The job of the insiders, the market makers, the institutions, you're talking BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, all of the big institutional traders, their job is to take money out of your pocket. Plain and simple, and you got to realize that. The reason is they hold your retirement accounts. And so they need to make sure for the long term that they got the money to pay the dividends on your retirement accounts. And in order to do that, they got to suck money out of the pockets of those who want to trade and get ahead of the system. The only way that you can combat this is to DCA, and that stands for dollar cost average. That's the only way that you can try to beat them, DCA, so that whenever they flip the market, it's like, okay, if we know where the market's going, it's going up. We're nowhere near the bull market peak. I think that ain't going to happen until October. So all you do is while the market is going down, just keep on buying little orders, and that's not financial advice. And then you lower the average cost over all of your orders. So I've been buying, say, let's say Toshi, it's a meme coin. And so I buy it while it's going down. And my idea is that I lower my average cost per token, okay, over time. So whenever we have a correction, that's when I buy. And what's the rule? Here's the rule. You always buy when you're down here, below the 20 line or at the 20 line. You never, never, never want to be buying up here during the overbought time, okay, in the overbought zone. That's a good way to part ways with your money, because what they do, they like to run the price up and get everybody excited during this time right here. And as soon as everybody thinks it's going straight up to the moon forever and it's never going to correct, that's when they dump the market and scare you right out of it. Okay, so then what human nature is, as soon as this happens, people think, oh, I got to cut my losses, and they sell down here. And as soon as they shake out all of the people who are the emotional buyers and emotional sellers, they run the market up again. That's how they trick you out of your money. That's what you need to understand. Okay, so anyway, let's look at a few more. I talked way too much just about Bitcoin. I was supposed to run through all of the projects. I'm going to just go rapid mode and show you what some of the other big ones are looking like on the 1 week chart. So Ethereum, what is it doing? It's looking bullish. It had the fake out. The fast line was about to cross over the slow line. Now it's opened back up, and you see the blue line pointing up again. So we could see Ethereum push up. We're above this dashed red line, which is a critical level where it was once support, right? It was a support right here. And then it became resistance from here to here. And then it became resistance again here. Now if we jump up above this and go higher, it's going to be support, where the next time we correct, it'll come back to this line and launch off from that point. So that's what Ethereum is looking like. It's looking pretty healthy and pretty bullish. How about Solana? It's at 163. We have this bearish cross. It doesn't show the fake out and unfurling and going back up again. But we got this big green candle. So this might curl on up and we might push up higher on Solana. We are above the 50 EMA, so it's still at that 50-50 point, okay? We got a huge volume node on the VPVR, which is a point where a lot of the institutions buy and sell, the automated machines, the preset buy and sell orders that the AIs do, that they execute on, is at 146, 145, somewhere around there. So that's a decision point. If it does go down, it could bounce off of that and move higher, all right? Or it could break down. I was hoping that we were going to go below 100 on Solana. It touched on it. It went below it just for a minute, and it got wicked up and it moved back up. But again, we need to watch, because we could cycle all the way down. I mean, look at all the length of time we have until the bull market peak. Bull market peak happens somewhere around here. So we could correct to the blue line, and then the bull run starts and it goes up from there. So we're getting close. How about XRP? Same thing. Bearish cross, fake out, going back up again. So it's looking like XRP, they're going to push it up higher. They might shake it out after we push it up higher, and then it'll continue to go up. Caspa. Caspa's showing a real bearish slump here. Look how far down that the stochastic went. That's kind of crazy. But I think it's going to flip, all right? We have not seen it break out of the bearish trending trading channel yet. Look at this channel, all right? Here are the limits of the channel, and it got rejected here. It got rejected there. I'm thinking that once we break out of this, that it's going to shoot back up to this point of control node right there. And if it does, it's going to get us out of this zone. And I think that's going to be the pivot point for Caspa. And once Caspa goes into bullish mode, watch out. It's going to break strong. Now, you know, they just had the recent upgrade. It was successful. And I think that you're looking at the capability of like what, 100, what were they talking about? 100,000 transactions per second. it was like a 10x where we're having the capability of like moving from 10,000 to 100,000 transaction per second. But with the recent upgrade, the recent fork that they did, and then they take the new changes to the new fork, it's a lot faster. And then you've got smart contracts coming next. So everything is looking like with Caspa, the good stuff starts from here. So I'm feeling good about my Caspa that I bought at 0.0015 the first time I bought. My DCA price is 0.004, so it's way up. The little $400 that I spent is worth, what, $9,000 right now. So that's the way you do it when you're DCAing. I got lucky. This is the best pick I've ever had. Looking at Cadena is looking bearish. This is just ugly. I should have sold. Look at the peak from 2021. It pushed all the way up to 27 bucks and we're at 50 cents. I'm hoping that Cadena can at least eclipse that last peak. And if it does, I'll be selling so fast. I'll look to sell out, starting at 15, 20 bucks. I'm going to get rid of the Cadena bag. It's still an interesting project. They somewhat solved the trilemma, but not like Caspa. How about Litecoin? Litecoin usually tells us what's going on in the market. Here it is, bullish surge, bearish crossover, fake out, pushing back up. That's what most everything is doing. Looking at Chainlink, same thing. Bullish romp, bearish crossover, fake out. Now it's about to push back up higher. And Litecoin, I'm thinking, is going to push back up into this box. Okay? Is that? Oh, no, that's Chain. I said Litecoin, Chainlink. You know what I mean. Chainlink is probably going to go back into this $20 to $25 zone, and that might form the consolidation base before it totally catapults out of there into the bull market peak. And who knows? I mean, we could be looking at a $50 Chainlink by the time we hit the peak of the market. Okay, let's look at a couple more. Filecoin, which I think is a bargain. It looks like the fast line's curling around and it might be ready to launch out. Look at the previous peak, guys. It was at $120 per coin. Holy smokes. I got a small bag of Filecoin and I'll be ready to unload this sucker. If we can just match the previous bull market peak, that's good enough for me. So I'm waiting for that. Graph is looking like everything else. It hasn't crossed over yet, but it looks like the fake out is about to happen because that blue line is curling under. So once it goes bullish, oh man, and looking at that previous peak, it pushed up to what? $1.33. So we're 10 cents now. So you're looking at 10x or more for Graph, and Graph's not going anywhere. It's one of the big projects. It's safe. It's going to be looking pretty good. One more here on the big ones. XLM making this huge wedge pattern. We had the bullish romp, we had the bearish cross, fake out, and now it's crossing over, about to come back up. And you know that it's about to push higher because we had all these solid green bars turned to light as we went into bearish action, crossed over the zero line, went deep down on the solid red. Now it's on the light red, reapproaching the zero line. So it's getting geared up for the bull run. And the next time it pile drives out of this, I think that it'll go north of $1. That's my conservative estimate. Now, let's look at DJI real quick. The Dow Jones, after the tariff scare, it's been doing nothing but pushing up higher. Very bullish, about to end up into the overbought zone. The DXY down because of all the money printing going on. We haven't been below the 100 level for a long time, where it kind of bounced out of it right here. It touched on it once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, and then it violated it. And now it's looking kind of bearish, but the blue line is about to curl up underneath here and maybe it'll gain strength. But as we destroy the dollar, the value of the dollar going down means that crypto and Bitcoin is going to benefit because everyone is running to Bitcoin as a store of value, while the big bloated beautiful bill is going to bloat the money supply just the same way that Biden did with his disgusting bill he passed in 2022. So destroying the value of the dollar means good things for Bitcoin. SPI, look at this. Very, very, very bullish. There's the tariff scare. Bounced right out of it. all of the fears of a crash got erased. And we're back up here nearly to the all-time peak. Now, TOTAL2 is everything except for Bitcoin. Look at this. There it is right there. You had the bearish cross, fake out, and now the blue line's about to cross bullish. So it looks like the TOTAL2, all of the alts, are about to get pushed up higher. Now, when you take out Ethereum from TOTAL2, you get TOTAL3. And so TOTAL3 is lagging. It looks a little bit more bearish here, but once it looks like the blue line is kind of curling up. So I'm thinking that since on the MACD, we see it right here, we're at the zero line, okay? We had the bearish slump, and we went from solid red to light red, and we're back at the zero line, printing little bitty ticks. We got a couple green in there, and so it's looking like we want to bounce out of that, and once it's good and ready, alt season hits, and this is going to skyrocket. It's going to be crazy. But overall, it looks like the trend is still up. This is the bull market, okay? Because every time we correct, we come back to this 50 EMA. We don't go much below it, okay? So this is a bullish trending channel overall for TOTAL3, okay? So I kind of keep my eyes on TOTAL2 and TOTAL3. Bitcoin usually leads the way, and when it goes up really strong and hard, it takes away from TOTAL2 and TOTAL3. But when alt season hits, everybody's all in on Bitcoin and the alts, and they just go straight to the moon all the way through the bull market peak. Let me see if there's anything else I want to include. Let's just run through Coinbase so we can show you one thing that's significant. Swiftcoin is looking bullish. We had the correction, and it's coming out of there. There's the fake out and pushing back higher. When Swiftcoin comes out of this, look out. It's going to happen where we eclipse the previous all-time high. I've been holding Swiftcoin since 1/100th of a cent. All right. I got 100,000 for $100. Still got that 100,000, and I've been accumulating, adding more. I got about 113,000 now. I've been buying in this 1.2 to 1.3 cents range because I'm going to use that to unload to buy other meme coins. So when we blast off out of this and get to 5 cents, I'll sell off that extra, 15,000 Swiftcoin so I can buy other memes during the bull run and flip that money and look to make some 10x, 50x gains. Now, XCN is not looking like Swiftcoin. It's not looking as bullish. Definite bearish cross, but the blue line's not curling around yet. And we look like the oscillators on the MACD are bearish. Blue line is below the orange line, and we're printing red bars on the histogram. The only good news is you got one little tick of a green candle holding on there, so that might mean it's ready to move up from here. And I'm accumulating a little XCN. I bought a little bit at between 1.4 and 1.5 cents just during this little consolidation here, and I'll sell it off after it eclipses 5 cents and use that to flip into other stuff. One other B3 on Coinbase. Oh my gosh, it's just ugly. You can't get anything out of the 1 week chart. We got to back it off to the 1 day chart where it looks like we've hit the bottom. It should come out of this, and as this stochastic rises higher, maybe it will challenge the previous all-time high, and we could look at, maybe making a 10x, or so, 15x from this point. Volume is really good. It's looking strong. So I'm dollar cost averaging on B3. I'll wait till the next video. I'll do a let's look at all the memes video, because this one we're already at 23 minutes. So you definitely want to tick the notification bell, like the video, subscribe, and we will run through the meme coins on the next video. So again, shout out to everybody in the private group. Yay! They've been requesting that I do an overall video. So there you have it. We'll break it up into 2 parts, and then we'll get back to the Gecko terminal plays for the projects that are not listed on exchanges and don't have a trading view chart. That's where we really hot dog the market and do quick swing trades. I've got some gems in there for the complete degenerate gamblers that want to make quick flips. That's all I got for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.